Compliance with the letter of the university rules to get out of a graduation requirement. This is a story my father-in-law told about his time in college. I'm not sure if it is actually malicious, but thought maybe it would fit here. It's my first post on the sub, and I'm on a mobile device. So when Pop was an undergrad, his university required students to take 4 semesters of a foreign language. This would have been the late 1940s. By the way, Pop was not great at learning languages but managed to get through the first 2 semesters. But French 3 was too much for him, and he failed the class. Pop did not want to have to retake it, so, foreshadowing his future career as a lawyer, read through the graduation requirements carefully and then registered for French 4. First day of term he walks into the class, which was taught by the same professor who taught French 3. The professor looks at him and says, "Mr. Pop, what are you doing here? I thought I gave you a failing grade last term in French 3. You did, sir," Pop replies politely. "Then why are you in French 4? Asks the professor, sounding rather annoyed. "Well, sir," Pop says respectfully, "the requirement says I have to take 4 semesters of a foreign language. It says nothing about passing the classes." The professor glares at him and then sighs and says, "Mr. Pop, if I give you a D in this class, will you go away and never come back to my class?" Quote, "Absolutely, sir," Pop says happily, and cheerfully leaves the classroom, never to return. The following year, the university catalog stated that students must take and pass 4 semesters of a foreign language. Pop was terrific and gave the best hugs. "Honestly, I didn't have in-laws. I just had another set of wonderful parents. Miss you guys." I believe it. Safety rules are written in blood. Legal rules are written in shenanigans and malicious compliance. Unless it said a single foreign language, I'd take a different language every semester. My college required 3. I took Spanish and German. Not sure why people are doubting this, but it did actually happen. I could not make this stuff up. My imagination isn't that good. My father-in-law was quite proud of how he put one over on the school and told me this story several times. My husband also confirmed that his dad did actually pull this off. He said he saw this dad's report cards with the F in French 3 and the D in French 4. The really funny thing is that I did something similar in university myself. In the early 1980s, my university had these general education requirements. Mostly lower division courses, but there were 2 upper-level courses required as well. There were 2 lists and you had to take one from each. On one of the lists I found a course that was basically intro statistics. It was in the education department but for some reason was a 400-level course. I had already taken intro stats in the psychology department. There it was a 200-level course, and figured this would be similar. It wasn't, it was exactly the same. Even used the same textbook, although a later edition, so I had to buy the book again. I breezed through it. Then I applied for graduation and my application was denied because they said I couldn't take both courses. I asked the dean's office to show me where it said that in the catalog and they couldn't find anything prohibiting it, so I got away with it. The following year, the list in the catalog had a footnote saying that students who had taken an intro stats course in another department, and they had a whole list of specific courses, couldn't take this ed stats course to fulfill the general ed requirement. I remember showing my family and laughing about how I had made the university revise its catalog. And if people don't believe this story either, let me know and I'll find the textbook and post a photo. I still have at least one of the 2 editions here at home. No, he didn't make it up. As I said, my husband saw his report cards from college. F in French 3 and then AD in French 4 the following term. A friend read for his MBA at a well-respected school in London. One requirement they had was that students needed to sit for a comprehensive final at the end of the 2-year course. This was done in the same week as the final exams for the classes. The twist was that one had to sit for the comprehensive exam. But there was no grade given for it. Don't think anybody bothered to review textbooks of old courses and instead focused on preparing for current class exams. Strange policy IMHO. My spouse managed a similar stupid requirement by taking the equivalent of French 1, 2, Spanish 1, and German 1, instead of taking the higher level courses. Reminds me of a HS graduation religious ceremony. I forget the name of the damned thing that I had to attend. In graduation gown, lest I not get to participate in the graduation itself. Since I'm not religious and hate when a public school tried to impose religious restrictions on me. I almost chucked the whole affair, but there was peer pressure to attend the latter ceremony. The rules specified closed shoes, meaning that they didn't want to see any sandals. But they didn't say I couldn't wear sneakers. The powers that be corrected that rule before the graduation ceremony. But that's another story. In college I took French 2 before French 1. No MC or anything. Unfortunately, I was just good at French in high school and loved it. And French 1 in college was said to be basically the equivalent of high school French. So I skipped it and went straight to French 2. Then, because of scheduling and taking a certain number of hours and having a certain number of foreign language hours on my transcript, it worked out well to take French 1 for an easy A the next year. See, that still sounds like I can register for French 1 4 times. I love this white heart Nazar amulet.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.